Hey, yo.
What a maneuver! Mamma mia! Mamma mia! Are you kidding me?
The irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
Power!
Whoa.
Look at the strength! Oh my goodness. There she is! All the way
Wow.
up! Gorilla press slam!
All right. A little something. I'll go back and fix it. But
I
let's
thought it was
go ahead and-
great. I liked it.
See, at least someone like that. I usually get my chops bust, but I'll go ahead and we'll basically touch on, of course, your upbringing. We'll touch on, of course, what got you into the business, obviously, but for the first time listeners, it's new to them. But and then, of course, we'll touch on a little bit about yourself, some of your likes and dislikes, and a little bit of pop culture. We shouldn't hold you that long, though.
All good.
But we definitely thank you for coming out. So I am going to go ahead and do this in 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome back to another edition of Marks and Mikes. You already know who it is by the sound of my voice. That's right. It's your boy, Mr. 6'9", JT, back in this piece once again. And I am joined by my co-host, El Cheech. What's going on?
What's going on, Chief? What's going on? We have a great guest. Been looking forward to talking to her, and man, I'm excited.
Hey, I'm excited. Look, if y'all don't know what we're talking about, man, this interview we've been waiting on for a while. Just got done seeing, of course, the intro video. I mean, it was obviously who we're talking about. Bad Street, the baddest, the Freebabes representing, of course. We have Miranda Gordy inside the building. First and foremost, I am definitely happy to see you on the platform and just definitely glad to be able to see you be able to wrestle a lot more this year compared to what happened during the pandemic.
Right. Yeah. And so I hardly slowed down when everything was shut down. We took like maybe a month and a half off, but as soon as I had an opportunity, I took it. And I think that kind of excelled my wrestling career. While people were sitting at home, I was out working. So I think that's definitely been a big help to, what I've been doing. So, but I appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me. I'm excited to be here as well.
Yes, most definitely. So look, let's talk about it. I mean, obviously the Bad Street Beauty is inside the house. Tell the people first and foremost where you're from and how did you get into this business, so to speak, if they don't know who you are and your lineage, of course.
Well, I'm from Bad Street, Atlanta, GA, of course. Yeah, I did grow up in Georgia. My father is Terry Bam Bam Gordy, the WWE Hall of Famer, part of the fabulous Freebirds with Michael Hayes and Buddy Roberts and Jimmy Jam. So that's my lineage. I also have a brother who was on SmackDown, Jesse from Jesse and Festus. And that's, how people know me. And that's how I got into the business is I've had family members. I also have a cousin who wrestled for All Japan Pro Wrestling. He was the first American to complete the training at the dojo for All Japan back in the 80s. And so, wrestling is just in my family. It's a family business, and I'm here. I finally made it. I started late, but I'm here and I'm killing it. So that's pretty much it.
That's great. And how helpful has it been that you've been pretty much doing like the Texas loop and staying around nearby? How's that had helped you? I mean, in the process,
Well, yeah, Texas. If there is any market I would hope to be in, it's Texas because Texas. just tons of opportunities. It's a huge state, so you could find, tons of promotions in the whole state, and so you'd never run out. But they have a lot of good markets. Obviously, everyone knows the Reality of Wrestling, Booker T, which I've not been to, but it's a big one. I work for SWE. That's my home promotion. I'm the TV champ there. There's ton. There's like oh my gosh, there's like Hurricane Pro, tons of huge promotions there. So if you're looking to get noticed, Texas is the market to be. And that's where I started. And I was really lucky, like my trainers where I started training and stuff. Everyone knows Amber Moon is from the Dallas area, and I'm blessed to have one of her as my trainers. She helped me right before everything shut down as far as the pandemic. I've had Tom Howard, who's someone who trained people like Samoa Joe and John Cena, and Jack Black for Nacho Libre. And so he's a world-renowned trainer, and I worked with him too, and all from the Texas area. So being in Texas definitely has its perks.
Oh, awesome, bro.
Texas is beautiful. You got Mission Pro Wrestling out there.
Also Mission Pro, yeah.
Shout out to Thunder Rosa. Shout out to Jazz, one of the train. Shout out to Willie Mack as well. He's out there helping train. Got to give a shout out to the Wold, former guest on the show. Very, very tough individual. You got the chance to rub elbows with the Woad. So what was that experience like?
I did. I love the Woad. We got to tag at SWE, and we had a good time. I think she's great. She's super nice, and we had a lot of fun. So I would definitely work with her. I would even not mind the chance to work against her. I think that would be a very fun match.
Yeah, that's awesome. But another thing that you're finally able to do is you actually went to the Far East, and you went to Japan. How that experience, was for you, and how the culture, how you enjoy the culture.
Oh, I loved it. Of course, I grew up with my dad going to Japan all the time, and so I had a lot of, I guess, friends. I was a kid, so I called them my friends. They were obviously coworkers of my dad's. When I was a kid, they would come to our house, and my dad would always bring me stuff from Japan when he would come, and so it was always there in my life, and so I actually got to go experience it. It was one of the greatest experiences, and I have to give it to wrestling because otherwise I probably would have gone. But wrestling has afforded me that, and I got to go, and I got the opportunity. I was only like 6 months in when my friend, I've known him my whole life, his name is Jimmy Suzuki. He called. He's like, "You want to wrestle?" And I'm like, "Sure, Jimmy." I'm 6 months in. I probably have no reason to be there, but absolutely, I'm not going to say no. I would never miss the opportunity. And it was really good. Like, even though I was super green, like I had a good time. The matches were good enough for where I was in my career, and just being over there and experiencing a whole new world. And the people are so nice, and they were like excited that I was there because I love my dad so much. And so just being around people that knew my dad and loved my dad, and they loved me because of my dad, was just, out of this world. I loved it, and I hope to go back. Hopefully, when everything is opened up, for sure, I hope to go back, whether I pay my way or get booked or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine the Miracle Violence connection, at this time, in this day and age? How
Oh
dope would
man,
that
he'd
be?
make a lot of people cry.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, your father's name rings bells, whether it's here in the U.S. or if it's in the Far East in Japan. It's always going to ring, whether that be as a solo, whether that be as part of the Freebirds, and being just the last name itself. You being a second generational wrestler, your brother being a second generational wrestler, you continue on to carry on that legacy. Now I know you all growing up, seeing a lot of wrestling, been a lot of wrestlers, been around a lot of wrestlers. You as children, did you ever just play wrestle as my parents like to put it? You all ever wrestle each other?
Yeah, so I have a sister, and we're only 16 months apart. So, that's who I always played with. And yes, we would play wrestle to the point my dad would like turn it off. He's like, okay, y'all have watched too much. Y'all are starting to get hurt. You know what I mean? So like, okay, we're going to have to cut back on it because you're going to get hurt. And like, I remember one time I was real little and I saw him, he would, hit his head on the turnbuckle. And so I went over to our fireplace and I tried to do that. And my dad's like, nope, done. So, yeah, I mean, I watched it and I loved, growing up in the Attitude Era, but we got a little too carried away. So, yes, and on the trampoline, like I remember giving my sister suplexes and stuff on the trampoline. Yeah, as a kid, we would wrestle all the time.
even at a young age, man. So, at a young age, you wrestled all the time, and you got the chance to go ahead and get in training. It's just the comparisons of you two, man, and your style. A lot of people are saying that they get those Bam Bam vibes, man. Those Terry Bam Bam Gordy vibes. You're roughhousing. You definitely not taking anyone for light. Throwing people across the ring, throwing those lariats, so definitely I love it. So what was one of your go-to moves as a kid with wrestling your sister? Like, let's just say, you mentioned the suplex. If you wanted your sister to tap out, what was your submission move?
If I had a submission, it cut out just like for a second. So were you asking for what a submission would be?
No. So I know that you wrestled with your sister.
Yeah.
So what was your go-to move with her if you want her to tap out? What was your submission move?
Oh man, my go-to move. I don't know. As a kid, like I said, I mean, really the only thing I could do on the trampoline was a suplex and like, just play around and get hurt and then get in trouble. That's really it. That's the only one. Man, I'm thinking back. I don't know. That's the only one I remember.
Yeah, I mean, for me, myself, it was the figure four. I used to love putting my sister in the figure four. She's tougher to this day because of that. So, she has a lot of fighting skills. So she's, she knows how to protect herself. So, you hop into training around 2018, I believe. 2018, you started training, and during that time, you got the chance. You talked about your trainers. I want to say it was late February of this year or last year. You had a tryout with WWE.
It was this past February. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. How was that experience for you?
Yeah, my tryout was this past February, and I had a really good time. There was everyone was super nice. Like Mr. Regal was there. My friend Ace Steel, trying to think, Bobby Brookside, Norman Smiley, Albert. He used to wrestle as Albert. He was there. I also got to let's see, with Raquel Gonzalez. She was part of it. So just all these really great, knowledgeable people were all there, and we did like cardio drills, so they could kind of see like your footwork and your cardio and your athleticism. We did that the first day, and then the second day we did like promos and a tryout match. And then we did like some educational stuff at the end of it. But man, they ran me ragged, but I had a good time. I remember like just sweating and thinking like, this is actually kind of fun. Like I thought it was going to be super militant. But it wasn't. Like everyone was super nice about everything. And gave me a lot of good feedback, and just they were nice. Like, I had fun. So it's definitely a good environment.
Well, eventually that actually helped you, to where you at now. So, moving to like now, how your name started ringing, all around the wrestling, independent. So, and there's any promotion or particular place you would like to, wrestle for, or let's say
Well,
Alaska or
obviously
something?
anywhere in Japan. I think that has been my favorite place so far.
Okay.
But anywhere, like, I wouldn't mind, as far if you mean like contract wise, or like the bigger stages, like WWE, AEW, Impact, any of them really. Like, there's not a particular one that I have favoritism. It would be really cool to be at WWE. I kind of consider that the top, because it's been kind of the monopoly for a while.
Yeah.
And of course, I have family there. Michael is there, and I know a lot of people. But right now, AEW is kind of kicking butt, and so they're gaining that momentum. So that's not a bad option either. They're kind of evening out, really. And I know a lot of people there. I've worked a lot of people on their roster, and so that would be a nice environment too. I assume it's really fun right there right now, so that would be fun. Even Impact is a really great promotion too. NWA, I just did the show with them, and that was a lot of fun doing the Freebabes thing. Yeah, and so
Yeah.
hopefully we can keep the momentum going with those girls, and we can continue on being like a 6-man tag, because
Yeah.
that's kind of rare, especially for women. So if we could do
Oh,
something like that, I think that would gain a lot of momentum, a lot of traction. I think people would get the nostalgia like the Freebirds, but have it modernized to women and all second generation. I think that would definitely be a draw. Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the free babes, it was dope because it caught my attention when I was watching it, and I'm like, oh my god, like the presentation alone. So the free babes, me reading and stuff like that. So it seems like Mickey James reached out to you guys. How was that call? How did you feel when somebody like Mickey James reached out to you and proposed that?
I was super excited. So Jazz actually told me, she's like, hey, Mickey James is going to reach out to you. They want you for NWA. And so, like, I remember just looking at my phone like every hour, like, is she called? Did I miss it? Like, super excited. So she finally called, and she told me her ideas about the Free Babe. She's like, I want to make it all second generation. And she threw some names at me, and I'm like, that sounds good. First, of course, the first pick was Haley J. And I'm like, cool. I know her mom. I've met her mom. She's really cool. And I hadn't met her yet, but I liked her. I'd heard about her. I've been following her. I'm like, cool. Yeah, she's definitely a Michael Hayes. So she's the mouthpiece. She's the talker, the heat getter, that, all that. I'm obviously the Gordy and the muscle. So we need a third. And Mickey found Jazzy Yang. And it kind of comes full circle because Jimmy and my brother teamed as well in the WWE. So she found Jazzy, and Jazzy's, yeah, exactly. And so she found Jazzy, and Jazzy's just starting out, but she's kind of got the technician thing going, kind of like Buddy Roberts was. And so we got her a little bit out of her shell, and she did great. Like, we were so proud of her. She's only had a few matches, and we weren't sure, but she killed it. She did really well. And so we're really hoping to, like, keep pushing this thing, because I think it's a great dynamic.
Oh, it got mileage. It still got way to go, and that first, even though you didn't take the W, but it was one of those matches that the person that won got over, but Jack got over. And
Exactly. Yeah,
and,
if anybody caught attention, we caught attention. And that's really what you want, whether you win or lose. You want the attention. And I think that we did that. So that
yeah.
I'm super proud of that, even though we lost the match. But you got to start somewhere, win or lose. You got to start somewhere. And we got it started.
Yeah, and the Empowerr pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
As a whole, how
Yeah.
do you feel? How you felt about that?
I mean, I'm still like, I'm still energized from it. Like I still am like super proud of it. You know, I'm still hearing reviews from it. Like someone was telling me, you know, Dave Meltzer was super impressed, and like I'm like, oh man, that guy, you know, because he'll tell the truth. And someone was telling me last night he put the match over, and I'm still, you know, people are still sending me stuff like, oh, love the match, and Michael watched it and he loved it, and so I'm still real excited that it happened. Hopefully more happens, but like just being in the locker room with all that talent, because there was so many talented, like a lot of the biggest faces in women's wrestling right now were right there, and it was so fun. And that's the best part of it. Like, you know, the show's cool. The 6 to 20 minutes you're out in the ring, that's really cool too. But like being in a fun locker room, that freaking makes it. That makes you want to come back, you know, like you don't want to go to a messy locker room or a locker room was kind of boring. No, you know, boring is whatever, but like everyone was super nice. So that was the cherry on top for me.
And you know what? I could just definitely imagine, because you had a lot of people there. You had Tootie Lynn, you had Red Velvet, you also had it inside the building. You had Awesome Kong, who was there, who made her retirement that night, and I wasn't expecting it, but got pictures over here with you and the girls as well. And how was that? Did you get a chance to soak up any knowledge from Awesome Kong?
I did. So for our match, actually Medusa was there, and she was our agent. And obviously after the match, I'm like, give me critiques. And then of course Mickey and Gail Kim was there. And so going around and asking all these vets, and Jazz was there. Jazz is like she's like my fairy godmother. I don't know what to call her. Like she's always there. She's always helping me and, getting on me when I need it and everything else. And like, I know she loves me and I just love her to death. And so getting all the critiques and knowledge from them, and Awesome Kong, like, I don't think people knew she was going to be there, because I was sitting near the door when she walked in, and like everybody turned around like, what? You're here? And so I think that was a big surprise, even to the locker room. But she's a sweetie too, man. Like I remember getting back from the match and she's like, hey, will you take a picture with me? And I'm like, you just asked me that? So that was her idea. And she's like, yeah, just tag me. And I'm like, that's so sweet. And so just, being around her and seeing that's history. Her and Gail, doing the retirement thing, being a part of that. People in the back were tearing up because it's a part of history, and it's a big deal because she was a big part of wrestling. So I'm glad I was there for that as well.
It was just a beautiful thing, just to see an all women's pay-per-view play out like that, and just to have all that talent in the ring. Marty Bell inside the ring. You also had Sienna, Allison Kay. Inside.
Yeah, the tag teams. The tag teams were the female tag teams were brought back since I don't know in '83 or sometime.
Yeah.
Yep. The first time the titles have been activated. That's a long time, but look at the evolution that's happening with women's wrestling. You got an evolution and as well as a revolution going on at the same time. Women's wrestling is evolving, but it's also a revolution behind it. You're looking at Ring of Honor that's reactivating their women's championship, and you look at Impact with the Knockouts tag team championships, and WWE with the multiple tag team championships between NXT and of course WWE, and then AEW, who I'm hearing they're gonna go for the women's tag teams titles sometime next year. I believe is the plan for it. But just women's wrestling in a whole, it took a while to get to this point, but I'm glad that we are here now. Should it have taken that long? No, but the fact that we are here now and we're starting to see more women, you're starting to see more talent, more people show up, women getting more time on television, and not only that, their own pay-per-view. This is no better time to be a wrestling fan than right now in the present day. because we're able to get introduced to people like yourself, people that we probably wouldn't have had a chance to see had not it been such a big boom. So a lot of that has to do with AEW, a lot of that has to do with independent wrestling. I'm just glad that we have independent wrestling here to feed the system. So definitely happy about that.
Oh, absolutely. Now is the women are on top and they're killing it right now. And I remember as a kid, you had like the Sable and the Deborah and, the girls, and they're beautiful and, they did the attention getting and everything like that, but they weren't necessarily seen as athletes. And now you got people like Thunder Rosa and Layla Hirsch, like actual like athletes, and they're killing it. And I love it because I think it makes it more real for women, and it inspires little girls, and everyone inspires me still. So I'm loving it.
Yeah, that's dope. Good.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the inspiration that we're getting from everybody, and of course, you yourself, you're inspiring generations of kids who are now seeing you wrestle the same thing that you used to do back when you were a kid. Watch someone else do what you love doing now. So everything comes full circle. So it's a beautiful thing. So we talked a little bit about your career. We talked about what got you into the business. Now I'm going to give you a chance to be the booker yourself. So this is your event. You're booking this. I need you to book me 2 matches. Okay, I need a tag team match and I need a women's match. You book it. Who do you want on your card? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter past, present. It's your card.
Ooh. A tag team match. Let's see. Well, of course, I'd have the Freebabes on my team. That's a given. And then right now, I think if given the opportunity, I would absolutely go against Marty Bell and Sienna for those tag titles. I think that would be my goal right now, because that would be having an NWA tag title would probably be the closest to having the same title that my dad held. He held the NWA tag titles for the men, so I think holding it for the women would be the closest for me to having something that he had. So I'll say that for my tag team. And then what else did you ask?
Just a singles match.
Just a singles match. Ooh. I would say if I could choose someone, either Ember Moon or Zoe Starks. They both were part of my training. And so I think, either one of them, just so they could see how far I've come. I mean, they know, but I haven't got to work with them yet. So I think if I had the chance to work with them and make them proud, that would definitely make my day. So,
well, that's gonna happen. It's inevitable. It's part of the part of your future.
yeah.
But but that's awesome. But change it a little bit. You from Texas, big football state, as we all know. We're recording, and it's football. What was your sport like when you was in growing up, like in high school?
So when I was young, I did ballet and tap, and then I did the swim team as I got a little bit older, like middle school, going into high school, and I also did taekwondo. So now, outside of wrestling being my sport, it would be riding my horse. So being an equestrian would be my sport of choice now, I guess. But yeah, taekwondo, swim team, and ballet were what I did growing up.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, my bad. I was in Iran. Yeah, I said Texas. You from GA. You know what I meant.
Oh,
No.
okay. Like a sport? Like what kind of sport I like to watch?
No.
No, because I said from
Yeah.
Texas and stuff, and I forgot you from GA. But that you live in Texas now, but that's a football state. So do you what's your football team? Do you have any football team
Oh, my
you
football
follow?
team. Okay, so growing up in Tennessee and Georgia, I'm actually a Titans fan. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so I like the Tennessee Titans. I know everybody from Texas would just be so disappointed in me if I said that there. I might be ran out of state because everybody's, Cowboys are America's team, but I'm a Titans fan, right?
okay, okay.
Listen,
Hi.
I love the Titans. I actually stayed in Nashville, and I want to say like my very first week in Nashville, I kid you not, I go to the stadium, and I'm like, hey, can I get a quick tour? It was like, yeah, sure. So there's no one there. It's just me in the stadium, and I'm literally just sitting there looking. And when I tell you that's like probably one of the best looking stadiums I've ever been to. But I like the Titans. I don't know if I like them to take it this year. To all the Cowboys fans out there, you might as well hang it up. It's been over with. The Cowboys have not been good since Deion Sanders.
Yeah,
Troy,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand. This year perhaps might be the Cleveland Browns year. Hey, everything that's happening in the world seems like, hell's
Yeah,
about to
you
freeze
never know.
over.
You never. It could be their year, man. That would. It would be
Oh man.
consistent with everything else, huh?
I mean, anything can happen. I mean, me personally, I think we got a better chance of Thanos snapping his fingers before the Browns win the championship. But I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, so I'm in the same boat. But yeah, so okay, so you definitely, I mean, okay, you rocking with the Titans, okay. Far as when you're in the gym, what type of music are you listening to?
In the gym. Oh, anywhere from rock to like rap to like dance music. So it could be like Tool, and then the next song will be like Cardi B, and then the next song will be like the Eagles, and then some, like some techno. And I'm like, it's not even a name; it's just like numbers, and you know what I mean. So I'm just all over the whatever plays, and a lot of pop stuff. Just energetic. Depends on if I want to be mad that day and lift heavy, and then I'm on the rock, or if I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do some abs, and then I'll keep it on like some Cardi B and some Megan Thee Stallion and stuff like that. So, it just depends. Sometimes I'll just shuffle it up. I'm like, okay, potluck, here we go.
I'm the same way. If anyone's ever taken a road trip with me, they know it could be rap one music, it could be reggaeton one minute, and next thing you know, I'm playing rock and roll. Hell, sometimes for fun, I may just go in and put on some Joe Crocker, or something like that. So that's just me. But okay, so we got a little taste of your music. Let's get a little taste of your movies. What's one of your favorite movies of all time, and why?
Ooh, one of my favorite movies. I like a lot of movies. I think one of the greatest movies of all time is Forrest Gump. It's got a little bit of everything. Yeah. So I think it's like if I had to pick one of the greatest, that I think it's him, because it's got, comedy, drama, action. It's really well made. So I think that one, um, Jurassic Park's really cool. Uh, um, I'm trying to think of some, like, there's a lot of movies that I like. So Stranger Than Fiction, which is odd for some reason. Like if I had to pick a chick flick, that one. I like Will Ferrell. Obviously, growing up with like Adam Sandler and all those guys, Seth Rogen and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll say Forrest Gump. So
Listen. When you said Forrest Gump, my mind and my body absolutely like enjoyed that, because favorite movie of all time, one of my top, probably in the top 10 for me of favorite movies, just because of the storyline, how it was
Well,
made. That
a lot of
actors,
people probably learn history through that movie.
yeah,
I remember they showed me that movie when I was in eighth grade. in New Jersey. You know what I mean? I guess a teacher didn't come. You know what I mean? Some one of those, and they wheeled the TV on and they put that on, and it was amazing. You know what I mean? Like I love that movie.
Forrest, why this happen? I want to go. I just
Johnny, Johnny,
One
where's
of my
Johnny?
favorite. I love it. You know, Jenny.
It got a deep meaning too.
It
It
does.
got yeah, man, because that damn Jenny, man. You know?
Yeah, it's deep. Like it really is. When you're younger, you don't get it, but now you watch it, you're like, this is some deep stuff. It's it's kind of goes on your heartstrings. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole movie, Jenny played my boy Forrest. The whole movie, and then at the
Biggest
end,
hill ever. She's the biggest. Like she's the bad guy of the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Forrest about to risk it all, man. Forrest fighting people, crossing through the middle of DC, through the water to get to Jenny, traveling through buses, running across the nation, and oh well, hey Forrest, this is little Forrest. I'd like you to meet him. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here, Jenny?
Right.
Haven't seen you in 20 years. What's going on? But one of my favorite movies of all time. Absolutely, Tom Hanks deserved every award he won for that, man.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
All right, and the lady, the lady that played his mom. What's her name again?
Gosh, I cannot. Her name.
I cannot think of the actress's name, but I know I can see her face. Like I know who you're talking about. Yes.
Oh, yeah, she killed it too, man.
I was about to say Kathy Bates, but it's definitely not Kathy Bates.
No, not Kathy Bates.
I can't remember. Hold on, wait, I got it. This is why we Google stuff, right? We love Google.
Yeah, Google that shit.
Sally Fields.
Sally Fields.
That's what it is. Mrs. Doubtfire. She's in the new Spider-Man series. No, she's not in the new Spider-Man. She was in the Amazing Spider-Man series.
Yeah, Sally Fields.
Love her to death. Okay, and I guess before we get out of here, let's ask this question right here. All right. If you can change one thing in the wrestling business, what would it be?
Bring back kayfabe. Make it real. Make it real, and so it draws people in better. Unfortunately, even the realest, matches and feuds, you still kind of know in the back of your head, like, they probably go to the bar together. You know what I mean? So if there was something we could do, it would bring back kayfabe, so you leave the fans wanting more, and they're like, oh, that was real. They go home thinking it was real, so that they'll come back next week to see what happens. Because it's kind of like a soap opera, So I think that's what I would change.
Yeah, and it could come back and it could be done. It's just a different type of way. Of course now you got social media. That's started through there. That'll be, I like, on Twitter, there's a little gray, line, but you could see sometimes that if you smart, you could use that tool towards, engaging and bringing people in, because you could be real witty with it, and like, oh shit, what's what you said, they'll retweet it, you know what I mean? So the tools are there, but definitely, like, I mean, I still, we know, but still it takes away from it. And like I'm from Puerto Rico, so they lived it hard at kayfabe. Like they couldn't travel together, they separate locker rooms, none of that bullshit, nobody allowed, but times have changed. But that's definitely one thing that will be dope if it happened,
Yeah, it could come back, like there could be someone start up a Fed and they're just like, we're going old school with it. It could be a thing, anything's possible.
I would love to see it, only because that whole realism to wrestling, that's what drawed in me as a kid. And I think that if we had that realism back into it, I think the ratings will be a lot more higher. The appeal will definitely be a lot more because you go back to, of course, the days back when your dad was doing it, and everything like that. It was slim to none that you would catch any of these guys next to each other.
Oh yeah.
Slim to none. But the fact that they kept it going outside of the ring, all the way up until the point that they met, and then even after the match, like even after the match, if they didn't shake or show that good sportsmanship, it's like, all right, you know what? I still don't like you. I don't like him. He doesn't like me. We're gonna keep it that way, and that's one of the things that is missing in wrestling. If we can have that, I think wrestling will be a total different beast. I mean, you look at the UFC and how they promote fights. It's basically the same thing that wrestling does. The only thing that's different is
used to.
Used to. The only thing that's different is you actually believe that Conor McGregor absolutely hates this person's guts, or whoever's on that card absolutely hates this person. So I would love to see something like that return back to wrestling. Well, I definitely agree with that. Before we get ready to get out of here, definitely let the people know where they can follow you
at. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pro Wrestling Tees. I think that's it, all under Miranda Gordy.
No TikTok?
Yes. Oh, I'm glad I just started a TikTok.
Yeah.
I just made a video today. I'm like, I feel like a 70-year-old, like trying to make a TikTok. I'm getting it though. Yes, it's at Glam Gordy. So
I love it. I love it. Well, make sure you all are following her on TikTok. Make sure you're following her on every single social media platform. Definitely keep your eyes open on the internet, whether that be Twitter, IG, the Book of Faces, TikTok. Make sure you keep your eyes open because you're going to be seeing this face. You're going to see this face a whole lot. You're going to see this face across every single promotion, probably within this next upcoming year. But who knows? Maybe in this next coming year, she may be wearing gold around the waist for one of these 3-letter promotions. Maybe the NWA Women's Tag Team Champion. Maybe holding gold somewhere in AEW, NXT, Impact, ROH. Listen, the sky is the limit for
MLW. Don't blink.
Oh yeah, MLW is starting the women's division too.
Yeah.
So listen, the sky is the limit for you. I'm definitely glad you took the chance on coming here, seeing us, and of course just chopping it up with us. But before we get out of here, we have to leave the people with our 2 PSAs, and we try to say this every show. First and foremost, listen, too much negativity out there can have you unbalanced mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. Spread more positive vibes, okay? It takes very little to build someone up than it does to tear them down. Think about the logic inside that message. It can be something simple as telling someone something good about themselves, paying them a compliment, or going to whatever.net and purchasing the Positive Vibes t-shirt and giving it as a gift to someone. Also, COVID is still here. It's been here over a year. It's here with the remix. Usually the remix is usually worse or better than the original. In this case, it's worse. So listen, on how to survive COVID, we've been telling you guys this for over a year. It's very simple. We're going to need you to wash your hands, but most of all, wash your ass. Use soap. Cheech, let the people know how they got to do this, Papa.
You know how it is. Remember, it's from face to ass, not ass to face.
Very simple instructions. Wash your hands, wash your ass, use soap. Make sure you're using soap, please. And from face to ass and not ass to face. And on that note, we love you all. We are out. Peace.
Peace.
Here's your bus. Okay. Hey. I know this.
I'm going to serve that for show and tell because Grandma used to read it to you.
My favorite book. Yeah. Hey. Here you go. Hey, Forrest. Don't. I want to tell you I love you.
I love you too, Daddy.
I'll be right here when you get back.
You understand this is the bus to the school now, don't you?
Of course, the new one's worth of yours, and I'm Forrest Gump.